Hello there, good afternoon. You're watching ABC News. This is ABC Midday, and I am Peggy Inyakwabano. Coming up in the next hour, a new opinion poll by Global Info Analytics puts the New Patriotic Party's candidate, Matthew Nyindam, in a narrow lead over the National Democratic Congress's Daniel Nsalaw in the Pandai by-election. Head of State of ECOWAS have unanimously endorsed President John Dramani Mahama as the African Union chair when the rotating chairmanship reaches West Africa in 2027. Still to come, acting chairman and vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Smith Dankwa-Bute, declares himself a failed chairman and will not be contesting for the party's chairmanship again. In business, the Bosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association has announced its withdrawal from all activities organized by the Ghana Union of Traders Association. On the international front, former Beninese president and current opposition leader Thomas Boni Yayi's son, Chabi Yayi, has been arrested in relation to the attempted coup in the country. Stay with us, we have details of these and more coming up shortly. Watching ABC Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. We're streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH_now to our stories. A new opinion poll by Global Info Analytics shows the Pandai parliamentary by-election shaping up as a tight contest, with the New Patriotic Party's candidate Matthew Nyindam holding a slim lead over the National Democratic Congress's Daniel Nsalaw. According to the poll conducted between December 11 and 13, 2025, Nyindam commands 50% of voter support, while Wapao follows closely with 46%. 3% of respondents remain undecided, with 1% indicating support for other candidates. The pollsters note that the 4 points gap falls within the margin error of plus or minus 3.9%. effectively making the race a statistical dead heat. The survey also reveals limited voter movement between the two leading candidates, with 2% of Nyindam's previous voters switching to Wapao and an equal proportion moving in the opposite direction. However, Nyindam appears to benefit from a significant shift among voters who previously backed an independent candidate in the 2024 election, with 28% of that group now supporting him on performance. Voters offered mixed assessment of Nyindam's brief tenure in Parliament before the seat was declared vacant. Joining us on Zoom is the CEO of Ghana Investments Fund for Electronic Communications and Deputy National Election Director for the NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer, to have further conversations on this. Good afternoon, sir, and you're welcome to ABC Midday News.
Good afternoon, dear. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm terrific.
Oh, great. Now, the Global Info Analytics poll shows your candidate trailing by narrow margin that falls within the margin of error. How does the party interpret this data, and how confident are you about closing the gap?
Very well. We've taken notice of the polls. I mean, Musa Dankwa is an astute pollster. We respect his work. He's somebody that we can vouch for when it comes to matters of this nature. I mean, it's welcome. I mean, we have taken it on board. We are going to work closely. Don't forget the election is 30th. I mean, so we still have some days for us to close up the gap. I mean, it's the same thing happened in Akotia. I mean, you saw it. I mean, we were the underdogs. We came in lately, and then we overturned the whole thing and won the Akotia. I can assure you, with what we are doing currently in Pandaya, your guess is as good as mine. We are going to win. The NDC is going to win massively in the constituency. We will turn the tide. We are getting on there. And initially, they didn't give us any dog chance at all. They were saying they have some phantom 3,000 votes difference, and that they are going to beat the NDC and all that. The people voted. Now you've seen very slim, very slim. We are narrowing it up. Don't forget, because he's been in Parliament for some few months down the lane, it has endured him for this kind of thing that they're talking. But I'm telling you, by 25th, 26th, you will see different story. I can assure you.
All right. What are you going to be doing? You said we'll see a different story. What are you going to be doing?
We are going to zoom into the constituency to properly sell the good works of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to the people. That's what we are going to do. We are going to make sure that we move from hamlet to hamlet, village to village, to let them see what the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is doing and what reset agenda meant for the people of Pandaya.
We are not going to see.
And that is what they will get to understand.
All right. So we are not seeing any votes buying as it has become common in by-elections.
It's not part of us. The NDC is not noted for that. We've not done it before, and we are not going to start now.
All right.
In all our by-election, we've never involved ourselves in vote buying. We always go in there with our promises, what we intend to do for them. And you will see that almost all the by-elections we've entered since Asin North time up till now, we've won almost all the elections because of our good track record that we sell to the people. We have the track record. And so we are not noted for vote buying. The NDC is not part of our DNA. It's our opponents who used to be doing those things and other things. And yet Ghanaians have voted them out. So we will not go that path.
All right. Now, the poll shows that there's a strong unity among the NPP delegates in the constituency, Pandai constituency. What are you going to do to also strengthen your presence in the constituency?
Well, that's the delegates. That's their cup of tea. It's not a part of ours. NPP delegates cannot even decide for the general populace of the constituency. We are formidable. We have a united political party led by our general secretary and national chairman. And everybody, look, if you go to the grounds there, you see our national organizer, the deputy general secretary, and all those matters are in there. We will be joining them anytime soon. And you will see that we are in united front. The party is strongly behind the candidate, Wakwal Nsala, and I can assure you he's going to win the election hands down.
All right. Now, campaign is underway in Pandai constituency, but yesterday we saw one person died after your campaign in that constituency. What is the party doing about this?
Well, the person didn't die at the place where we had the meeting. We held a meeting with all our branch executives, the 152 branches. They were all well in Pandai. We had a very fruitful discussions with them and giving them our strategy, what we intend doing and all that. I mean, it was very fruitful. They left. About 2 hours later, that the unfortunate incident happened. Told he was attacked by bees in some compound somewhere. And then very, very unfortunate. We are commiserating with the family. I mean, we are feeling their pain. I mean, this is a time he should be there with us to do this work. He's one of our branch executives. It didn't happen at the meeting, not at the meeting ground. The meeting finished 2 hours later that this unfortunate incident happened. We are with them. We are with the big family.
All right. Now, let's look at the suit against the clerk of parliament. What do you make of this suit against him for contempt of court?
It's needless. It's completely needless. It's much ado about nothing. It's
How
not propaganda.
so?
It's one of the NPP propaganda. It's completely nothing. The man was doing his work. You wanted the NDC to cite him for contempt of court. A court of competent jurisdiction gave orders. And the orders were directed at the third responder, which is the clerk of parliament. And you expected him to defy the orders of the court of competent jurisdiction. At the time he was writing the letter, to Electoral Commission, there was no injunction. There was no stay of execution, nothing. The stay of execution, the original stay of execution of the ruling ended on the 1st of December. After December, there was no stay of execution. What are they talking about?
But there were other issues or court processes undergoing at the Supreme Court and even the High Court at Tamale.
None of them is a stay of execution. None. They are all processes, and none of them indicate state of execution. The Supreme Court one is a theory that they have filed, and they are asking the Supreme Court to quash the decision of the High Court. That is not an injunction. That is not stay of execution. That is not. The other one at the Tamale High Court was a motion they moved. In fact, they were to move the motion on the 17th, but they went for a breach of time. And they brought it back to 10th of December, for them to move the motion. We're in court with them. They moved the motion, asking the trial judge to stay the execution of the actions that he took, the orders. That's the motion they moved. Now they've been given 18th for us to come. The court gave us 18th to come for ruling on the 18th. That means the court has not taken decision on it, whether to stay or not. It is going to be on the 18th. So as we speak now, there is no stay anywhere.
All right. Now, the Supreme Court is sitting. There's a hearing tomorrow at the Supreme Court. What is the NDC expecting from that?
Of course, we are expecting the Supreme Court to dismiss them. To dismiss them. They are wasting everybody's time. They are wasting everybody's time. They will be dismissed because the facts doesn't speak to what they are asking the Supreme Court to do. We're with them for 11 months. We've been with them for 11 months in court. For the 11 months, does it mean their lawyer didn't see that we filed outside the mandatory 21 days? The lawyer didn't see it. At the case management point, their lawyer didn't see that. He didn't raise any issues. When he was writing his written address to court before the ruling, why is it that he didn't make mention of that matter? When he was addressing the court, why didn't he make issue out of this? After they have been ruled out and our reliefs have been upheld, then they now go back and said, in any case, the application was filed outside the mandatory 21 days. So we are asking the Supreme Court to quash it. Which Supreme Court will quash such a decision? This is the kind of problem they do propaganda, and then everybody will be following them with their propaganda. They have no case. And we're expecting that they should dismiss them.
Okay. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
I'm grateful.
That was the CEO of Ghana Investments Fund for Electronic Communications and Deputy National Elections Director for the NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer. Still on this, constitutional lawyer Kwame Adolfo has explained that the Clerk of Parliament may have overstepped his authority by communicating with the Electoral Commission while a court decision on the Pandai parliamentary election was still under appeal. Speaking on ABC in the morning, Kwame Adolfo said once the clerk was served with court processes, including an appeal and application for stay of execution, he was expected to refrain from taking any further action until the court had concluded the matter. Lawyer Adolfo said that by writing to the Electoral Commission under those circumstances, the clerk risked interfering with the judicial process, an action which could amount to contempt of court.
It's a matter for the clerk to file his defense or affidavit in opposition and explain the circumstances under which he wrote the letter. He may well come out with a defense that, look, I was just acting on instructions of the speaker and no more. Maybe he may well come out with that defense. If that is to happen, then it will be up to the Supreme Court whether he is somebody that they should convict, or if there's somebody else. We've got something called chain of command. You cannot say I'm acting on instructions alone, so the whole chain of command may be, whether the whole chain of command may be brought in, that is another matter. But the whole point is, as far as you, the applicant is concerned, you do not create a defense for somebody you are intending or seeking to convict. So you just cite them for contempt. It is up to the person to come up with a defense. In this case, the clerk of parliament will have to come up with his own defense. And that defense may well be.
In more news, one person has been confirmed dead following a bee attack on supporters of the National Democratic Congress in the Midday district after a campaign program on Sunday, December 14. Confirming the incident to the media, the NDC's Midday constituency secretary said the attack occurred shortly after the party concluded its campaign activities. The deceased, identified as a chief from one of the communities in the district, was reportedly riding a motorbike when a swarm of bees attacked him. In the ensuing panic, he dismounted and attempted to flee, but was bitten to death amid the confusion. Some residents have attributed the incident to spiritual causes, describing it as a curse. However, authorities are yet to comment on these claims. Investigations are ongoing to determine the exact circumstances surrounding the incident. The incident comes amid heightened political activity in Midday, while the Electoral Commission has scheduled a parliamentary election rerun for Tuesday, December 30, 2025. The rerun follows a High Court ruling that annulled the results of the 2024 parliamentary elections due to irregularities in the collation process. The contest is expected to feature the same candidates who participated in the 2024 polls, with both the NDC and the New Patriotic Party intensifying campaigns in the constituency as the rerun date approaches. Away from that, the Authority of Heads of States of ECOWAS has unanimously endorsed President John Dramani Mahama as the African Union Chair when the rotating chairmanship reaches West Africa in 2027. The decision follows the ECOWAS Council of Ministers' unanimous recommendation of President Mahama as a sole candidate from the region. The recommendation made during the Council's 95th Ordinary Session in Abuja was forwarded to the Authority of Heads of State and Government for formal adoption on Sunday, December 14, 2025. ECOWAS thanked the member states for backing Ghana's candidacy, citing the country's contributions to the region and its international standing. We are determined to work in a concerted manner to support the candidates of ECOWAS member states or their nationals in international organizations, including the African Union, to ensure that the interests of ECOWAS continue to be promoted and protected. Part of the statement read, the Council added that the endorsement reflects ECOWAS's commitment to advancing the region's influence in continental and global bodies. It reaffirmed its support for candidates for member states to strengthen ECOWAS' presence in international organizations, including the African Union. Still on ECOWAS, leaders of the Economic Community of West African States have strongly condemned recent coup attempts in Guinea-Bissau and Benin, warning that such actions pose a serious risk to peace and democratic governance across the sub-region. The position was affirmed during the 68th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, held at the Nigerian State House with backing from the African Union and the United Nations. Participants underscored the need for collective vigilance to prevent the spread of unconstitutional changes of government. ECOWAS leaders commended the swift deployment of the organization's standby force to Benin following the December 7 coup attempt, describing the intervention as a clear signal of the bloc's resolve to defend constitutional order and regional stability. Joining us on Zoom to have further conversations on this is international relations expert Dr. Ishmael Lobo. Good afternoon and welcome to ABC Midday News.
Good afternoon and good afternoon to your viewers.
Right. Now, what does ECOWAS's endorsement of President John Mahama mean for Ghana's diplomatic standing and influence on the African continent?
Thank you very much. I think that this development is an endorsement of Ghana's rising status within the sub-region. It's an endorsement of President Mahama's approach towards African liberation, particularly his emphasis on economic liberation of Africa. It's also an endorsement of the fact that he has tried so hard within the 1 year that he had returned to the presidency to position Ghana in a way that Ghana could play a more meaningful role in the sub-region without necessarily having to have the power capabilities that nations normally have to do that. Okay. So I think that's a welcome development for Ghana in terms of foreign policy, in terms of our projection of power, if you call it that, or soft power in the international environment.
All right, Dr. Ahlobo, kindly position your camera well for us.
Is it okay?
All right, thank you. Now, how could the president's experience and expertise in regional and international affairs strengthen the African Union if he becomes the chair?
So, if you consistently watch the president, he has demonstrated a particular positioning, that is to make Africa more sovereign in various respects. Either he's championing the Accra Global Health Initiative, which is aiming at making African nations' health infrastructure, health system more sovereign and more reliant on themselves instead of reliance on global powers. You can talk about his call at the UN General Assembly for reparation for Africa, which is leading, trying to put pressure on global powers and, of course, global institutions to recognize the harm done to Africans through slavery and colonialism and have some reparations paid. So he has a clear vision of what he wants Africa to be and how he intends to have Africa at that place. So having him as the chairperson for the AU is a welcome development, because then he is able to mobilize the other African leaders with that clear vision, with that clear purpose. Now, it will not be a straightforward issue, because this is not an executive position. When I say it's not an executive position, is that you don't have the powers of a president that you have at a domestic level. You will still need to mobilize others, get others to buy into your vision and move with you. But then again, being in that position, give Africa a focal point where we could, or he could, mobilize other African leaders and try to let them see where the need to support his vision is. So it's a welcome development to Africa, because if you look at the personality that he has exhibited in the return to the presidency, he has shown that he can display calmness and also resolve at the same time. So calmness in the sense that you hardly see him engage in aggressiveness in terms of diplomacy. But then he makes his points in a very respectful, in a very diplomatic manner. So for instance, take his speech at the UN General Assembly. It was a speech that naturally would have drawn a lot of criticisms from established powers. But he did so in a manner while criticizing the establishment, also calling in the manner that the establishment did not get piece of, making the establishment to see their own weaknesses. And so if you put such a person as somebody who chairs AU, you are likely to have somebody who can diplomatically lead Africa at this very difficult juncture.
All right. Now, Dr. Ahlobo, given the current political, security and economic challenges facing West Africa, how well is he positioned to bridge ECOWAS and AU's interests?
Now, so what are the issues facing ECOWAS? What are the issues facing the EU, the AU? We are talking about insecurity, particularly in the Sahel. If we talk about ECOWAS, we are talking about growing level of unemployment among African youth who are becoming disappointed in democracy and political leadership in general. We are talking about the growing influence of both emerging and established powers in this region. Now, so if you take the split between ECOWAS and the Sahel states, President Mahama brings on board a personality and an approach to diplomacy that doesn't antagonize anybody. So, for instance, he has been engaging the Sahel states. So, if he is the AU chairman, he is more able to bring those countries on board and find an amicable settlement to whatever issues they are facing. So that means that he can be trusted by both ECOWAS members and as well as the Sahel states. So he brings that unifying image to the role that he's asked to play. So I was not surprised that he was the one that they all of them are endorsing, because some other leaders within the sub-region took a very entrenched position concerning the Sahel state, and that entrenched position is actually the reasons why one of the reasons why they left ECOWAS in the first place. But then President Mahama adopted a mediated role, and that mediated role means that in terms of somebody this splinter group can trust, they are more likely to trust him than some other leaders within the sub-region. So he's able to provide that unifying role for all the groups, particularly in West Africa here. And as I said earlier, giving his own vision of what needed to be done, particularly in West Africa, to stop the tide of coups. If you read him very well in speeches, I think his thinking is that it is not just enough to enforce democracy with military power. It's not enough to go to Benin with the guns and push soldiers to hand over power. The issues that are forcing the military back into the political space must be addressed. And those issues are quite clear to any observer within the sub-region. The issue of stagnation in the economy, the issues of some of the leaders tampering with the very constitutions that are supposed to guarantee their role. So when you see the approach and the understanding he has of these issues, then it's sweet that he will be in that position and try to espouse these ideas and have other African leaders understand the enormity of the tax that is facing them in terms of what they should do, either economically, either respecting their constitutional term limits, or any other of the issues that have become chronic to African political leadership. So he brings that understanding, which is very important to addressing some of the issues that are resulting in the coups and the instabilities we are having in the region. He also seems to understand that the instability any of the member states threaten every other person. So on that respect, if you take somebody who have a very broad understanding of the challenges of insecurity within the sub-region, then President Mahama will be standing out, because he has quite a comprehensive and detailed appreciation of the challenges, and clearly he seems to have an understanding of how to overcome them.
All right. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Right. That was international relations expert Dr. Ishmael Hlobo. Now, in more news, the Western Regional Police Command has launched investigations into a fatal shooting incident at a mining company site at Adelekezu near Dadren in the Axim district of the Western region. The incident occurred on Saturday, December 13, 2025, and led to the death of 13-year-old Pius Nkansa, aka Nkrumah, and the destruction of several company properties. Police who responded to the scene found 2 4x4 SUV vehicles and 2 tipper trucks bent. A pickup truck and a Toyota Land Cruiser were also damaged. Some youth of the town allegedly carried out the destruction. Preliminary investigations indicate that the incident stemmed from a misunderstanding between some youth from Adelikezu and private security personnel at the mining site. The youth were said to have attempted to invade the company's concession. During the confrontation, they allegedly tried to seize a pump-action gun from one of the security men. The security man resisted and fired a shot, hitting the boy. Now, the victim was rushed to the Axim Government Hospital for treatment, but was pronounced dead on arrival. The death of the boy reportedly We're going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more news.
Magic pepper and onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenini na da da da. So pa mediane no abe.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abe fi.
Tasty magic.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. We are streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH _. Now let's do some political stories. The Karaga MP and former Minister for Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, has dismissed claims that the growing support for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia in northern Ghana is driven by ethnic or regional loyalty. Addressing supporters during campaign activities for Dr. Bawumia in Yaba, Kubori, Dr. Amin Adam said it was wrong to suggest that Northerners backed the former vice president without careful judgment. According to the Karaga MP, leaders and party supporters in the north are rallying behind Dr. Bawumia because of his competence, integrity, and leadership qualities, rather than shared background or hometown considerations.
Northerners, Nikata Bawumia. Northerners got to dwell Bawumia. Netinyala Zumba. Now we are blind. And we are blindly following Bawumia. But I want them to know that we are not blind. We can see. We can see. And when we look at all of them, we see Bawumia. We see a competent man. We see a humble man. We see a truthful man. We see a president. And that president is going to be who? Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Still on this, former member of parliament for Domikwabenya, Sarah Adjoa-Safo, has openly declared her political allegiance to Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, describing him as the central pillar of a political future as the new patriotic party prepares for a critical leadership transition. Addressing party delegates and supporters, Ms. Adjoa-Safo made an appeal for unity, introspection, and strategic thinking within the party. It is time for Bawumia, she said. She stressed that political ambition is natural and legitimate for all party members.
Me a politician. And Honorable Kennedy Japan or your politician. Kugudu. Meaning, delegates, baby, who could know a polling station executive. And our year, and so your polling station executive. Mesrao, Obian Krana Day. Obian Krana Day or politics the move. Obian Krana Day. Iti Honorable Ken Krana Day. O Krani ambition. Mesumi Krama Day. Mesumi Yaman Manosem. Na Manosem na Obia Ayeno. Obia ko baby and who bad day. Mesedi Obia ko baby and who bad day. Dr. Boachika Saukan Sembi. Maintain Honorable Kennedy Japan. Menene womba pori and wofefo mienu. Bemu abako and obabako. It maintain Honorable Kennedy Japan. But your family and friends and I hear well. Messi, Mayor politician.
In more news, the acting national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Smith Dankwa Bute, says he will not contest for the substantive national chairman position, admitting that he failed to lead the party to victory in the 2024 general elections. Smith Bute explained that since his ideas and strategies did not yield the expected results, it is only right for him to step aside and allow someone else to take up the role. He emphasized that his principles and integrity would not allow him to go back on his decision. He, however, noted that he will continue to support the party with his knowledge and resources to help the NPP return to power.
I've said it severally that I'm not going to contest again anymore.
And why is that so?
I'm principled. I went for this position because I wanted the party to maintain power. We did not. So, in my opinion, I think that I have failed. So, why should I go for another elections? I'm not here to joke. I'm here to work. I'm here to work for the party. I'm here for victory. If the victory didn't come, I should step aside for somebody else to come because maybe my ideas and my strategies didn't work. So I have to give way for another person to come. I'm a man of principle and a man of integrity. I will never come back. I will support the party all right with all what I have, my knowledge, my money, my power, everything that I'm supposed to do for this party to come power, I will do. But for me to come as the chairman of this party again.
Joining us on the line is political scientist and senior lecturer at the Kumasi Technical University, Samuel Efriye, Dr. Samuel Efriye, to have further conversations on this. Good afternoon, and you're welcome to ABC Midday News.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Right. What do you make of the chairman of the NPP's decision not to contest again, following what he calls a failed attempt or failed tenure?
Well, thank you very much, and greetings to your cherished viewers. For some of us that we thought that there was a need for them to even have resigned at the earlier stage, immediately after they lost the election, this is not surprising. And I think that is long overdue for him to make such a statement. They disappointed the party members, and so then they could have resigned all these while. So it's quite unfortunate. And I think that the other candidates, or maybe those who are current executives, should not be given any opportunity for them to continue when the election comes on for such positions.
Right. Now, would you say this sets a good precedent for the other executives or executives who are yet to be nominated to step down or decline if they know they are not fit for the position?
You know, I think that they should have resigned long time. Immediately the humiliating defeat happened. Within the shortest possible time, all of them could have resigned to give a new face to the what do we call it, the party. And so that's what I'm saying, that those who are in currently and even think of trying to go for re-election, I think that the party members should not give them that opportunity.
How is this going to help in the party's rebuilding?
It's going to help the party rebuilding because the party need a new face. The party need new people, and new people with new enthusiasm, with new hope. The party need to have a new dimension, and that new dimension is to create hope for the party members. And you need people with experience, people with long background of the party who are rooted within the party that can energize the grassroots level. And that is what matters now, because the party members are disappointed about the results, and they are all looking for hope. They are all looking for how people can turn the party around, because what happened is something that is not understandable. So they need people who can give them hope, and they can also trust them for good results for the next elections.
All right, Dr. Friye, if all of them step down or resign, there's no one left behind to help in the party's rebuilding, or you say they can step aside and still contribute with their knowledge and expertise?
They can appoint interim executives to manage the party. The party can appoint interim executives, maybe 5 or 4 people to manage the party for the actual when the actual election comes on. So there's nothing wrong with them, all of them stepping down. That will show, even that will help those who are young within the current executives, to give them a good image for whenever they want to seek any elections in the future. Because you cannot perform poorly and then tend to still hold on as if that, and you want to come in for re-elections and you want to blame whoever, you want to blame, you are not at fault, but somebody's at fault. No, it cannot be like that. You came in assuming that the party could have won the elections. I think you will take credit for that. So when it's a loss, you take credit, or you are supposed to be responsible or liable for that. So it is a good sign that people have to accept certain kind of responsibility and tend to put their tools down and allow people to come in to help. And maybe an opportunity will be given to you next time. Then you come and continue whatever job that you want to do for the party.
All right. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
My pleasure.
That was political scientist and senior lecturer at Kumasi Technical University, Dr. Samuel Efriye. Away from that, private legal practitioner and activist Oliver Baka-Vomawo has announced that his law firm has secured the release of the partner, also described as the mother of the child of embattled romance scam suspect Frederick Kumi, popularly known as Abu Trika. In a post on his official X account, Baka-Vomawo said the woman had been unlawfully detained and would now be seeking legal redress. Yesterday, our law firm secured the release of Abu Trika's partner and mother of a son from custody, he wrote. We intend to sue the Narcotics Control Commission for her unlawful arrest and abuse. The development comes amid heightened public attention following the arrest of Abu Trika, who has been identified by Ghanaian authorities as one of the country's most notorious cyber fraud suspects. Still on this, the country director of the African Center for Digital Transformation, Hafiz Toyib, says Sakawa is an existential crisis in Ghana, just like Galamsey, born out of unemployment. According to Toyib, this existential crisis has escalated because people who engage in such activities tend to flaunt extravagant lifestyles, which Ghanaians who work from 9 to 5 p.m. would not be able to attain, making it difficult to psych people to refrain from indulging in such activities. He added that even if the government works to reduce unemployment, these cybercrime activities will continue to persist in the country, stressing that the government clamping down on fraudsters is a step in addressing the issue.
Now, another thing that we have to note is that Sakawa, as people is an existential problem. It's an existential crisis in this country, just as Galamsey and all the other existential crises that are born out of unemployment. Now, this cyber criminal activities or these love scams and all these things, I think they've taken a step further because people who engage in these activities tend to show off luxurious lifestyles that the ordinary Ghanaian who is working 9 to 5 will not be able to attain such things. Right. So it becomes very difficult talking people out of getting into these activities, and hence it's becoming an existential crisis. So I would say that even if the government was doing more on employment and all these things, we will still have traits of these things lurking around in our country. So I believe that what we are seeing right now is a step in the right direction, a rigorous attack to show that there is no place for such activities in our community or in our environment, or Ghana does not condone.
This is still Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. Up next is Business News.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, let me see you. Wait, this guy. My friend, see before.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is happening? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, uno ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh, no abeka. You did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
In the world of business, the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association has announced its decision to not support or participate in any activities organized by the Ghana Union of Traders Association. In an official statement issued by the association and signed by its head of communications, Mr. Benjamin Techi Ado, the leadership expressed strong disappointment with GUTA over what it described as neglect and lack of respect. According to the statement, the decision follows GUTA's failure to officially invite the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association to the inauguration ceremony of its newly elected president. The association stated that such an omission was unacceptable, considering its role and contribution to Ghana's trading and spare parts sector. We, the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, will not involve ourselves in any activities organized by GUTA because we were not officially invited to the inauguration of their new president, the statement said. The association further noted that it felt ignored and sidelined during GUTA's official programs, a situation it believes undermines unity and cooperation among trader groups in the country. Joining us on the line is Benjamin Techi Ado, Head of Communications for the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers. Good afternoon, sir, and you're welcome to ABC Midday News.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to your listeners and viewers.
All right. Now, why should this incident result to your withdrawal from GUTA?
Well, it has always been very clear and simple. GUTA is just a body that represents 88 or 89 associations, but the current chairman was sworn in 3 weeks ago. Just from the GUTA, former GUTA president, and 3 weeks ago he just stepped down, or the tenure of office has been expired. So we need to have an election to elect a new president. But some of the GUTA executives connive and appoint somebody which the various associations are not aware. That one should be aside. It's illegal. That one should be aside. The day of the inauguration, they not even sent formal invitation letter to the various associations, pharmaceutical company, Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, chambers of commerce, the car dealers, no letters. ADAC, no letters. Swami, Spare Parts Dealers Association, no invitation letters. So we realize that we are not belong to GUTA. So what we will do is, let us distance ourselves from GUTA so that we will challenge the legality that has occurred 3 weeks ago. Whoever is behind that illegality, the law should deal with that person. Or the election they organized 3 weeks ago, we are not in support of it. They need to put a halt to it so that we will sit down and resolve our issues for any election that will take place. Other than that, we will head to court or we will distance ourselves from GUTA for good. This issue has been there for a long time. Anytime GUTA, I don't know, only 5 people or 6 people will sit down and put something together. They are saying we are the good executives. No, it cannot happen so.
Okay.
It can happen in this country.
Mr. Ado, is it that you have issues with the current executives of GUTA?
You see, we have issues with what took 3 weeks ago. Just as an incident, that one we just look over it because as human beings, mistakes are about to happen, and we need to accept that. But it shouldn't be something should be continued all the time. So we're thinking that these people will do the right thing, but rather they did the worst thing. What they've done is most ridiculous and the worst aspect of trading, so far as the trading is concerned. That's what I was saying. Abosokai is one of the founding fathers. We are the main pillar of GUTA. We are distanced ourselves from GUTA. So they will do the needful, we do the right thing.
So finally, there's no chance of you coming back to GUTA?
No, for now, we've made our position clear.
Okay.
We have distanced ourselves from GUTA. Simple.
All right. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Thank you, my dear.
That was the head of communications of the Aboso Kai Spare Parts Dealers, Benjamin Techi Ado. And that is all for business news. Up next is Sports with James Ohenba Makion.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Hello, it's time for Sports on the Midday News with me, James Ohenba Makion. Let's start off from the Black Stars. And the Ghana Football Association has announced that the Black Stars will face Germany in a high-profile friendly as they ramp up preparations for the 2026 World Cup. Drawn into Group L, Ghana will take on Panama, England, and Croatia in the tournament co-hosted by the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Ahead of the global event, the Black Stars will travel to Stuttgart to meet Germany on Monday, March 30 in an international friendly. Ghana aims to improve on past World Cup performances, having exited in the group stages in both 2014 and 2022. Their 2026 campaign kicks off against Panama on June 17th in Toronto, followed by a clash with England in Boston on June 23rd. The group stage concludes with a match against Croatia in Philadelphia on June 27th. Now let's move on to the Ghana Premier League, and Asante Kotoko head coach Abdul Karim Zito has openly challenged criticisms coming from sections of the media pointing to his side's growing injury problems following their narrow 1-0 victory over Dreams FC. Speaking at the post-match press conference, Zito expressed frustration at what he described as an unfair scrutiny of his explanations, particularly regarding the availability of players. The experienced coach insisted that the injury situation at Kotoko has significantly affected performances in recent weeks, yet his concerns have been dismissed.
You know, it's just unfortunate. Some of you are putting pressure on me. If Guardiola tells you that Rodrigo is injured, so it's affecting, you say it's okay. But if Zito say 13 players are injured, you say it's not okay. Well, it's you and your God. I don't have a problem about that. And yesterday, my own brother, Bashiru, he lost his game. He was complaining of 3 players. Nobody.
So that was Abdul Karim Zito, and that'll be all for Sports on the Midday News with me, James Ohenba Makion. Up next is international news.
On the international front, former Beninese president and current opposition leader Thomas Boni Yayi's son, Chabi Yayi, was taken into custody early Sunday at his residence, according to family members. Authorities did not disclose the reason for his arrest, which occurred on 1 week after an attempted coup in the country. At this stage, we don't know what the charges are, a relative told AFP. While a close associate and member of the Democrats Party, the main opposition party led by Boni Yayi, said it was unclear whether the arrest was connected to the failed coup. Thomas Boni Yayi publicly denounced the failed coup in a video message 2 days later. Since the attempted takeover on December 7, several individuals have been arrested, including suspected participants and prominent opposition figure Candide Azanai, a former defense minister. Now, Azanai was placed in police detention on accusations of plotting against state authority and encouraging rebellion. Beninese authorities have also issued an international arrest warrant for Pan-Africanist activist Kemi Siba. That's all for international news. Up next is entertainment news. In entertainment, renowned Hollywood filmmaker and actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner were found dead Sunday at their home in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, triggering a major police investigation. Emergency responders were dispatched to the residence on the city's west side shortly after 3:30 p.m. following a report of two unresponsive individuals. Upon arrival, paramedics confirmed the death of a man and a woman. Law enforcement officials later indicated that the victims appeared to have suffered fatal stab wounds. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed that officers responded to the scene and have opened a death investigation. Authorities have not formally released the identities of the deceased, stating that the coroner's office will handle official confirmation. That's all for entertainment news, and that's how we wrap up ABC Midday here on ABC News Ghana Television. We stream live on Facebook at ABC News GH_. For more news, log on to our website at www.abcnews.gh.com. I am Peggy Inyakwabano. Enjoy the rest of the day.